Hi, welcome to Part My Frenchie. This is me, 143. If you don't have a friend, you have one now. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Rosie. Ah, good grief. Was just in full heart attack mode a minute ago. Good Lord. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, wow. How's everybody doing? I know, Rosie. Rosie and I were in big panic mode. I thank you all for hanging in with me. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, right. An early April Fool's Day. Hello, 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 hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Golly. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. Oh, hi, Erin. Erin's on. Yay. Actually, I have a whole part of my segment is on you today. So I'm glad you showed up. Oh my goodness. Gravy. This is the first time this has ever like literally happened to me. And now Rosie's gonna sit all over my notes and everything. So well, we're gonna go half an hour into the 8 o'clock hour. So I hope that everybody is like strapped in. Sorry to look at Rosie's butt. So but yeah, like I went to go like hit my live stuff and all of a sudden like Google pulls up this whole like you have to go into this whole like security thing and authenticate, and I'm like, what in the world? So it made me like do all this technical stuff, which if anybody knows me, they know that like I am not like tech savvy at all. I mean, I'm not like totally clueless on the tech side, but yeah, to throw me for that kind of loop. And every time I did something, it would kick me back out and it would tell me I needed a two-step thing and I would do it. And it's, you know, and it, oh my goodness, I was in sheer panic mode. But I'm glad that everybody like hung in with me. Good God, that had me like, and it was funny because the co-producer came down and he was saying, should we just pull the plug on today? And and I was like, I am like, just give me 2 more minutes, just 2 more minutes. That's all I need, right? And I'm glad that if you're here, I'm glad you stuck with me. And if you had to move on, then that's fine as well. I totally understand because yeah, it's I know. Yeah. Yes, Patty. I need to light. It wasn't my fault though. Like I said, it was just like it was one of those things where it was just it's total freaking fluke. Um, so oh my God. So I again like talk about a heart attack. If I could have had a heart, let me take another drink because like I said, So welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got Erin, we've got Michelle, we've got the beautiful moderator, we've got Dave and Patty. And who's got the let's crack a full joke in April. So I see an N, Nini. So what's your first name on there? Type your first name. Oops, no, and the girls are gonna sit here and start fighting now. Here's Coco and Rosie are gonna see this. This is dysfunctional. Now, if you were on last week, she's gonna knock over my table. If you were on last week, you knew that in the beginning of the show last week, these two kook heads decided to jump on the couch right when I started, and they knocked over one of my Frenchie statues and crashed it and broke it. And then this one here had to be, yeah, you bite me. This one here had to be removed because she started picking up the porcelain pieces off the floor and decided that she thought that she was going to eat them. So that was an emergency. What are you doing? Ready to happen. So, so yeah, so that just, hello. Oh, the sunshine girl is here. So hello. Oh, and then Coco just fell off the couch. So Coco is doing better, even though she just fell off the couch and she took the pillows with her. But that's what's going to happen because they're going to roughhouse and play today. But as you can see, Coco is doing better. She's doing better. But they are just a mess. Yeah, I know you're a mess. You're a mess, even though you're a mess. But and for some reason, Lola was in an extremely playful mood today. So which is great. So yes, the terrible two. They are just all over. See, they're. I mean, I swear they are like, and if if you've been watching the show for a while, you'll know. Anytime I put on, anytime I try to get ready for the shows, as soon as I put on my stuff, they know, they get ready. They usually go out right before the shows, and then they run to the door because my studio's in the basement area. They run to the door and they sit there. They know that it is time to go downstairs and shoot. And so it's the weirdest thing. It's just like it's like they know. So, and then if they're not tired, then they will sit here and act foolish. And but usually within the first 10 minutes, they will conk out and fall asleep. So. But here we are. So, but as you can see, Coco's doing a lot better. You can hardly even see her scars under there. She's healed up quite well. We are extremely happy for that. We did not have a show on Saturday. As a lot of you know, Saturday was our kind of our hodgepodge theme, where we do kind of, anything goes. But we did not have one this past Saturday because the moderator and I went to for those of you who don't know, the moderator is my daughter. She's 26 years old. Her and I went to this beautiful ball in Toledo, Ohio. She got me into it, and we went to this ball. It was Myths and Legends ball. And you get dressed up really nice. First time we've ever done anything like that. So, and she's gonna be mad at me for the one picture that I show. But here's the one of the formal pictures that they took. Which there's another photographer that took some really nice pictures of us. But we went as kind of like the sun and the moon, and here's the picture she's gonna hate because she absolutely hates AI. There was no photographers or anything, but I AI'd it behind us because we were in a hotel room. And I did not like the background. So she absolutely hates anything to do with, she hates AI. So I AI'd the background out because I hated the hotel room. But yes, but we, I thought we looked very, very, nice and we had such a great time at this thing. This is the first time we've ever done anything like that. And, it's fun to go out and get dressed up and do things like that. You don't often get to do, you don't often get to do, when you get out of high school and you don't often get a chance to get dressed up and especially like this event was so unique because people dressed up as like characters, like storybook characters, or again, like just different, like if you know anything like about Bridgerton, they dressed up kind of like vintage. There were some people that were dressed up as like cosplay things. I just they went all out, and then they had like these things where they call it trinket trading. So you brought little things that kind of represented you, and like I got this one thing. It was like somebody gave me an egg, right? And yes, I think that is right. I think Dave, we have very good genes. But somebody gave me this blue egg, and it's got a little blue dinosaur, or I'm sorry, you got blue dragon in it, which I thought was really cute. And then like got a little what is that, Green Gem. Um, this one girl who was super nice, met these, everybody was so nice. That was another thing. You didn't really run into anybody that was, not, not, mean or anything like that. Everybody was just super nice. A lot of people made their trinkets. Like this one girl that we had breakfast with the next day, she made these things, little keychains. It was nice. And then I thought this was really cool. These two girls were handing out these spoons, and if you got a spoon, then there was like a paper that came with it, and it said now that you're in like the Spoon Society, which then took you to a Facebook page that's a private page, and now that you're, you can connect with everybody that got a spoon at the event, and now you can stay in contact with everybody that got one of these spoons. So and then you post like just fun little pictures, and these are also people that go to like Renaissance fairs and fun little things, and again, you can keep in contact with some of these people that you met up with. So it was really cool. It was really a nice event, and again, it gives you kind of an opportunity to maybe connect with people that share kind of some of the same interests and so forth. So that was that, and it was just what. Oh yeah, that's right, we did, and we also met another YouTuber there, whose name was Bonnie Scott. And prior to going to this event, Bonnie had put on a YouTube video about one of their other events. They had done a villains. What was it? What was it? Brittany. It was a villains. It was called Villains and Something Ball, and it was. She'll probably tell me here in a minute. It was like Villains and Something Ball, but Bonnie went through this whole. Oh, it was just a Villains Ball. But she went through this whole video, and she actually did a really nice job. So she was at this event, and so we had an opportunity to meet her, and super super duper nice. And it's interesting meeting when you get a chance to meet other people that make YouTube videos like I do, and again, when you're kind of a small fish in a big pond, it's nice when you run into other people that that watch your stuff, or they take the hour out of their day to watch your stuff and say, hey, you did a great job, and so forth. It means something to them. So but again, super nice lady, super 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 nice lady. So that was the Villains Ball, which was very 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 interesting. I mean, not the we didn't, that was that. We went to the Myths and Legends Ball. So that was that. Then, kind of recapping before we get into all the pet loss aspect of Tuesday, because Tuesdays are our pet loss our time, and so. But again, I got a lot of catching up to do since we didn't have Saturdays. So, but prior to that, we had the moderator and I had a very interesting situation, which again, we'll kind of embellish on this a little bit more later on in the show, because it's the more I kind of thought about it, the more I really thought it was a good topic to talk about today, and a lot of stuff to get into. And I think there's a lot that we can dive into, and that just a lot of people don't think about until it happens to them, because I know that we didn't think about it until it happened to us. So I'll kind of touch on it now, and then later on we'll kind of maybe dive into it then. But Rosie getting into trouble. They always get into trouble whenever they get down here, I swear. So anyways, so this past week we were having dinner at my house, and the moderator had gotten a phone call. I'm sorry, back it up. Moderator did not get a phone call. The moderator had gotten a notification on her phone from her Ring camera app, and which it's funny because those Ring camera apps, they go off, and they go off a lot, and it almost gets kind of annoying, right? If you have one, I'll be honest, like hers goes off all the time. And because she lives in an apartment complex, she's always, there's people coming in and out. And, when we're out and about, this, again, it gets rather, I don't want to say annoying, but, it goes off quite a bit because, again, she's got a lot of traffic with her being in an apartment. And we have one at our house. It just doesn't go off quite as much. But hers goes off quite a bit. And so anyways, she had hers go off, and she also had a knock at her door. And they actually did ring her doorbell. Okay, so they actually did ring her doorbell too, on top of it, going off. And when she looked, she noticed it was a police officer. And she's not one that runs from the law, so she knew that she wasn't completely in trouble. And so she answered it. And yeah, I do wear pants because I know somebody asked if I actually wear pants on the show or if I actually wear something underneath, not just a top. So I do wear pants or bottoms. I know that was a weird question. Somebody's like, do you wear bottoms on this? Yes, I do. But anyways, so she talked to the police officer, and the police officer asked her in the doorbell if there were any humans that were in the apartment, then because she said that she wasn't home. And she said no. And she said only her dog. And the officer said, well, there's a fire in the apartment, the next apartment over, and it's coming towards her apartment. And again, her dog, my grand dog, is in the apartment. So she's like, okay, well, we'll be right there. Well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing more, there's nothing more, that'll get your heart racing more than knowing that you're a few miles away. And thank God we were only a few miles away, than knowing that a fire's coming and your dog's in the apartment. Right. And, that's a horrible feeling. So, yeah, I grabbed my keys and right, exactly. Hearing that, like, yeah, they were saying that the fire is, spreading towards her unit. And that's all they said. I mean, they didn't say how fast, they didn't say how close it was. It was very limited information. So, her and my son and I all, I grabbed my keys. She didn't even have damn shoes on. And, we all jump in my car, and, I'm driving like, a lunatic over to her apartment complex. And we get there, I pull up, and, there's fire trucks and, I pull up, there's fire trucks and there's tape and all sorts of things, all sorts of things. Right. And, I just threw the car and park, and, we all just jump out of the car and we go running towards her apartment. Not even thinking, and there's, they're putting out fires, and, I'm in the car right over, the moderator's, crying, she's upset. And, I just keep telling her, I'm like, we'll get the dog out. No matter what, we're going to get the dog out. And I meant that. No matter what, we'll get the damn dog out. I'm not going to let that dog burn in there. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to let the dog burn in there. That's not going to happen. So anyway, so we're, we jump out of the car, we run towards, the apartment, and, there's again, police and firemen and so forth. Well, they're right outside, and, I just ran straight and with my son, and we go running up because she's on the second floor, and, we just go running up the stairs. So she kind of stopped to, make sure to tell the cops that, hey, we're going to get the dog. And, we just, ran and went up there and, ran in and grabbed the dog, and thank God it hadn't gotten there as of yet. But we got the dog out safely, and all that was fine. And then, luckily the fire did not reach her apartment. But it was scary. that was a very, very scary moment. And we were very, very blessed that, she had the Ring doorbell because she wouldn't have known any other way because nobody called her. But I told her, I said, it's definitely a good investment. But because she was asking me as well, she said, well, what would have happened like if we were out of town or this and that? And I said, well, you could have given them the authority to kick your door down to get your dog out. And, that's not even a question, right? Yeah, exactly. That was the biggest thing is 100%. That's the biggest thing. And, even it's funny because, you know, afterwards we're thinking, and I was thinking too, it's, when you have adrenaline going and stuff, and it's like, you're not even, that you just don't even think. You're just all you're thinking is you just gotta, you know, I don't know. I didn't even think twice. And I don't. She didn't even think twice. It's just like you gotta go and do it, right? And hello, hello, hello. Uh, but so like here's I'll show you a picture. Like here's her, like, okay, so here's where like the firemen were. You can see like up here. Oops, let me put my thing here. You can see up. Oops. So over here is where the fire was, and then her apartment is kind of like right in where the front of this truck is. So she was, oops, right here is where it is, and then the fire was right here. So it was like right next door. It was right, so had it spread, it would have gotten her. And then that's that was her. That's the moderator and her dog after we got them out. And but I mean, just scary, just scary. And um, I was looking today when we were out, and I'm actually going to get some of these made, and I'm going to get some of these made with my logo on them because I really want to start sending these out to people. So I'm gonna get online today. I'm gonna get these made with our logo on them, and I'm gonna send them out to people. If you want one, put your uh, we'll put the email address. Well, it's on the channel as well. Send your information to my email, to the email address, and I'll send you out one of these stickers once I get them printed, which hopefully will be by next week. No charge. I'll just send one out. But I definitely want to, I'm going to be making these out for people to stick on their homes because I think this, after what we've been through, I think that this is very important. These, in case of emergency, please save our pets. You stick them on one of your windows. Now, I will say, there's a lot of controversy around these that I've heard. People will say, oh, well, then, if somebody's trying to break in your house, they'll know if you have your pets or dogs or whatever. And my thing to this is, if somebody's going to break in your house, they're going to break in your house. They're not going to give a shit if you've got a sticker on your window or not. If somebody wants to break in, they're going to break in. So anyways, and typically if you have a dog, it's going to deter them anyways. If they hear a dog barking, I would think. So again, some people will use that whole thing of, whatever. So my thing, I would rather have something on here that in case you're not home, you don't have a Ring doorbell, if they see it on your door, they're really like, oh, okay, we've got 2 dogs, 3 cats, a couple reptiles, whatever you got in there, right? So, right. I can't imagine how that must have felt. I know, right? Yeah, it would. Your $20 camera from Temu works great. It does, and that's a thing too, Michelle. I mean, and we have them like at Walmart too for like $20, and those are fine. Um, Damn it, Michelle, you just put that on the internet that you leave your back door open. So don't, although we don't know where you live, but no, but it's sometimes understandably so, right? I know, right? I know, and we should add snails on there too. However, I don't know if they would have been able to grab the snails out, but so. Oh, do you have snails? Aaron, we had just gotten all these snails like the past 2 weeks, which they're actually thriving really well, shockingly enough. We we bought all these snails, so which was just like a fluke thing. We've never been like a snail family. So now we're like these big snail connoisseurs. Somehow we became these snail people. So so yeah, so that happened. But anyways, yeah, so that was so, and like I said, we'll you know, I guess we can dive into to some of that right now while I'm thinking about it. Because I was looking up some things because again, with I don't condone I, as a dog lover or a pet lover, right? Um, yeah, I as a pet lover, um, you know, I would probably, I would probably, run into any kind of burning building for my animals, not even thinking twice. Is that the right thing to do? Absolutely not. Um, because what that does is, you know, it puts me at risk, which okay, whatever. Uh, but what that does mostly, it puts the firemen at risk because they are obligated to save my life, even if I don't ask for it. They're obligated to save my life, which then puts them at risk. So that's where the kind of the catch 22 comes in is, you know, that, so, but anyways, but so I was pulling up some like fire safety and pet safety procedures because a lot of things, again, we weren't prepared for any of this because whoever thinks of like, hey, a fire is going to break out, right? Or, if you're an apartment complex and things like this, you never, because what it was somebody left a candle on. And honestly, the most interesting thing was the apartment complex next door, a candle was left on. And then actually a girl at my work, same thing happened with her. Somebody left a candle on. So it happens, right? But so a couple of things I pulled up because I thought, well, fire safety and pets, and they did come up with like some really cool ideas that, when I was looking through and the first one was, like include pets in your fire escape plan, which honestly, like I remember when I was, a kid, they ran you through these fire escape plans in school and stuff. And I don't, honestly, I don't think we even do those anymore. I mean, I'm sure they do it in school, but really, I mean, do we think about it like when we're like in our homes now, like what's a good fire escape plan if you're on the second floor and things, can't get to the first floor and really it's not the fire that usually takes you, it's the smoke anyways, typically. But it's like, practice evacuating with your pets and your family. And, that's the most important thing. And then here was another one, keep pets, keep leashes and carriers and harnesses closest to the doors, which a lot of people typically do anyways. I think if you go, you take your dogs for walks and all that stuff's typically easy access, right? The third one, we use those pet alert stickers. So those are, again, they recommend it. Microchipping an ID in case your pets escape, like if things are going down crazy, make sure they've got IDs and microchipped. Rosie's microchip, well, they're all microchipped, but Rosie also has one of those tags on it that has a QR code. And so if somebody finds her, they can scan this QR code, and the QR code will say who her vet is, who the vet she goes to. It will say all of my information. That QR code goes to so much information, more than just like chip ID. So I thought that that idea was really, really cool. So let me get caught up here. My sleep. If you wonder if you died in your sleep, if Bubba would get hungry and eat your toes. I don't know. And you know, they 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 say, you know what? It's funny, Michelle, that you say that, because they say that cats would do that. They say that cats would. They say that cats are the ones that would eat people first, out of all the animals. They say that yeah, your cats are the ones that would eat you first, which is just weird, right? Like, I guess maybe it's because like they're part of the tiger family. I don't know, but I read that a long time ago. They said cats are the first like domesticated animal that, if God forbid you died in your house, they would be the first ones to, like, I guess, try to eat you. But but who knows? Like, I guess if an animal's left for a long period of time and without food, I guess anybody get hungry. I don't know. But hopefully people would miss you enough to be like, "Hey, I haven't heard from Jen in like a week or something. Maybe we should check on her, right?" I mean, hell, like, you know, I was, I was missing for 15 minutes on this thing, and people were worried about me. And, I just couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with YouTube. So, um, oh, whatever. Oh, the moderator, get out of here. Um, and then, like, during a fire, it says what to do at the moment. Get out immediately, of course. Your priority is your life and your pets. If your pet is not right there, if your pet is not, if your pet is right there, take them. If they're hiding or hard to reach, it says do not delay evacuation. Um, try to search for your hiding pet, but just remember the smoke can be deadly. Again, the smoke is usually the first thing that will take you over the fire, anyways. Call for help once outside. Tell firefighters exactly how many pets are inside and where they might be. Remember, your pets are in crisis mode. They could be scared, even if your pet is still inside. It says do not re-enter the building, get help. And then after the fire, get pets checked out by a vet. Smoke inhalation can affect pets even if they seem okay. Watch for symptoms: coughing, trouble breathing, lethargy. I said that wrong. Burn injuries. Keep them calm and contained. Pets may panic and run due to stress. Um, Common mistakes to warn about: leaving pets loose during emergencies, not having carriers ready, hiding pets in hard to reach areas. That's probably usually a cat thing. Well, it could be a dog thing too. And same thing with carriers. Trying to get cats and carriers and all that is just typically a mess. And going back inside for your animals, which, again, I'm not gonna lie, that's human nature probably. If you're getting everybody outside and then your animals are still inside, I, yeah, I'm not gonna. I would probably do it, which is, again, it says here, one of the common mistakes to warn about. So let's see. Keep a pet emergency kit, food, water, meds, records, all in one area. That's always good. And consider consider always having smoke alarms. Introduce pet carriers ahead of time. So if you have a pet that doesn't like pet carriers, keep looking at that. So, anyways, but let's see. Here's some other questions that I looked up as well. let's see. Who is legally allowed to go inside when there's a fire to get your pets? Legally, the people that are allowed to go inside are firefighters and first responders. Fire officials have full control of a fire scene. They can enter buildings, conduct rescues, including pets if possible, order evacuations, and block entry. Under Ohio Fire Code, the fire official in charge can remove people from danger, prevent anyone from entering or re-entering burning structure. That means if you try to run back in for your pet, they can legally stop you, which means you could go to jail. Regular people and pet owners, here's the reality. You are not legally protected if you run into buildings. You could be physically stopped by firefighter or police, be charged like obstructing or ignoring emergency orders, be putting yourself in extreme legal and personal risk. There's no pet rescue exception law for entering burning homes. Why is the law this way? The law is designed around one core principle, and that's to not create more victims. Fire departments are legally and professionally required to protect human life first, avoid unnecessary risks to responders and civilians. If you go back inside, you might need to be rescued too, and you can endanger firefighters' lives. Let's see. So, I mean, all this stuff is, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but, you know, as we know, they're always going to value human life over a pet's life, even though, you know, they're just as important to us. And I'm not going to lie, right? You know, firefighters and police officers and pets are family to them too. Well, you know, let's be 100% honest. You know, I mean, they are. They're family to them too, and a lot of them have family, and that's why, you know, a lot of like our fire departments and police departments, they have like the rescue stuff. They have the you know, the oxygen masks and stuff for animals, and that they take out of you know, they perform CPR on animals when they pull them out of buildings and so forth. So when my cat fell over, I tried mouth to mouth, and there it's going in. Oh, I know. Well, no, I mean, but yeah, I mean, in that order. No, you know, like I said, it's always a like I said, it's a challenge, right? It's definitely a challenge, you know, but again, you know, we're not asking to be saved. You know, I'm not asking somebody to save me, but they have a legal obligation to save me, and then in the sense that you don't want them to get injured either. But you also don't want, you know, to live the rest of your life thinking that, you know, your, you know, dog was killed or whatever. So, but the takeaway is, you know, if you do come into that situation, make sure you tell all the firefighters that, you know, what pets are inside, and, you know, that's the biggest thing you can do if you get into the point where it's a situation where you can't go back. Just make sure you tell them, you know, who's in there, where they could be, what part of the house they could be in. Make it as easy as possible to get in there. So exactly that. I don't need to be saved. I just need my animals, right? Oh, Cookie. Yeah. No, she didn't fall. Come here. So, anyways. Okay. Anyway, so all right, moving on. Okay, I've got some myths here. If I'm fast, can I grab my pet and get out safely? So, myth and the fact. So the myth is if I'm fast, I can grab my pet and get out safely. The fact is fires spread extremely fast, often in 2 to 3 minutes. Smoke, heat, and toxic gases can often overwhelm you and reach your pet faster. Myth: my pet will come. My The myth is my pet will come when I call them during a fire. The fact is, pets often hide when scared under beds, closets, tight spaces. This makes them much harder and more dangerous to find in a fire. Come here. Are you trying to get on here? Come here. Come here. And if they're a potato, come here. Come, come. Come, come. Oh, now you're going to knock your sister off the couch. Come here. So, hope. No, you're actually in good time. Um, yeah, we think of our pets as family, but most places they are considered property. You know what? A lot of places are considered property. That's the way the law looks at them, and you're 100% correct. That's you know that's how everything is. They are considered property, and um, they're not valued as much. And just like when there's abuse cases, and we have that here right now, where if unfortunately if somebody's beating or abusing animals, this is the part that I get in the argument with the co-producer all the time, right? There'll be these incidences where animals are getting abused, and they post the stuff, and people will report these animals being abused and abused and abused, and um, they call the police and they call the humane societies and so forth, and the places will go out and visit these owners, and then they leave, and these animals still are abused, they still get left outside. And my thing is like, well, what if somebody just drove by and took the dog out of the yard, and the co-producer and I get in the argument, and he always says, well, that's stealing. Well, okay, well, if the person is abusing the animal, right? If the person's abusing the animal, yeah, I'm sorry. And if the people have been out there a few times, you know, I have no problems, um, you know, taking matters into my own hands. But like you said, then there's a situation where it comes down to property. Yeah, that would be considered theft. If you walked into their yard and took the dog out of their yard, that would be considered theft. Even though they're beating the dog to death and starving it and keeping it outside, maybe in sub temperatures, that's still considered their property, and you would be charged with theft. Now, would it be worth it? Probably. But you'd still catch a charge for it. So I don't know. Hope you don't fall off the couch. So, here, Rosie, move over. But anyway, so yeah, so like you said, it's just right. It's crazy how it works. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, the good thing is that, like, I know here in Ohio, and I know there's a few other places that they're really starting to pass some, um, uh, dog abuse case, or not dog abuse, but just animal abuse laws. It's about time. It's about time. Right. Animal abuse is just horrible. Just absolutely horrible. So anyways, but another myth: I'll have time to figure things out when a fire happens. The fact is, you have less than 2 minutes to escape safely, usually. Um, and that's the fact of it. It never hurts to be prepared. Never hurts to be prepared. And I will say, I will make, it's not just, um, probably Michelle can speak to this too. It's not just domestic homes with animals. We had this one, this was just the other day. It was a farm here or actually it was in Colorado, Fort Lipton, Colorado. Several animals were killed in a fire Sunday at a farm. And it started at 5 p.m. They were able to get some of the animals out, including goats and some other animals, but a lot of the animals were died, and the farmers were just devastated. Even though some of these livestock are, maybe going to be used as food and so forth, they still mean a lot to farmers. Farmers do, care about their animals, and they do take care of them. They respect them very much. I did find it interesting, and this is what I was talking about as well. This is part of that article, and here's two of the firemen, and they have a picture of the goat. That's a goat down there, and they've got an oxygen mask on the goat. But that's too, here's them, trying to, take care of a goat that was in that fire, but that, too, like, farmers go through the same thing when they have fires. They lose animals, and it means the same thing. And I will make the moderator extremely happy right now, because probably for a month now, she's been wanting me to talk on this story. And there was a big catastrophic fire in Ohio that it was at a pig farm. Yes, your voice has finally been heard. There's a horrible catastrophic farm in Ohio, and it was back in February, and it was at a pig farm, and it literally killed 6,000 pigs at this farm. And unfortunately, it was a massive fire that broke out at a commercial hog farm complex in Madison County. It killed about 6,000 pigs. A lot of them, it said they did die from smoke, which was good, not from the fire. Now, they had firemen from all over the surrounding counties. This is why I think she wanted me to tell the story. They had firemen from all over the surrounding counties join in, and they did save close to 2,000 pigs. So, there was like such a huge effort to get these animals out, and they saved close to 2,000 of them. So, unfortunately, 6,000 did perish. There was a large amount that did, but 2,000 did make it out with the joint effort of all these counties. And the thing about, you're like, wow, 6,000 died, but the area in which this happened was such a small area. That's why it was so impactful. It's not like it was a big city like Columbus. Columbus, you have, 100 firemen, in one, probably more than that. I probably just lowballed that. There's probably more than 100 firemen, but there's a lot of firemen in Columbus. And then if you pull the surrounding cities, you could probably get, a good 300-400 firemen, if not more, to join in. But, these are smaller little counties. So maybe they'll have, 10, 15 firemen. So to be able to pull out, 1,500 and save those guys, that was a pretty good effort. So it was funny because when we first initially talked about the story, she was so excited about it, and she's like, "You got to tell the story. You got to tell the story." And she had the numbers backwards. I think she thought that they saved 6,000 and 1,500 lived, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, that's not really a happy story. But in hindsight, when I was looking at it and we were talking about this today, I'm like, with regards to the effort and how small the county was, it really is a positive story, because those people did put in a lot of work. So, hats off to them, and hats off to any time there's there's, life saved and so forth. So, so the next thing I want to hit on real quick is Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines. I do want to talk about this because for two reasons. Delta Airlines dog falls ill mid-air plane, and here, this guy. They were up on a 4-hour flight, and they were hour into the flight. The dog was having problems. To the point where the owner started panicking, and the flight attendants made a call. They talked to the pilots. The pilots landed like within, I think, 20 minutes to the closest airport. There was vets that were there when they landed, and they met the owner and the dogs, and they saved the dog. The people on the plane had no problems diverting for the dog, and I think the people were delayed maybe like an hour due to the landing for the dog. But yeah, they totally diverted in order to save this dog that was having complications on the flight. But hats off to, you know what, Michelle, you're 100% right. And there's different airlines that will not fly these dogs because of the breathing problems and the altitude. But yeah, Delta Airlines. So they are, and one of my one best friend that works for American Airlines, her husband just got on at Delta Airlines. So that is going to be our new Delta Airlines because they save dogs. So hats off to American or Delta Airlines for saving dogs. But you are 100% correct because there are some airlines that will not fly these dogs, and or they'll definitely not put them in cargo. You'll have to fly with them, in the cabin with you, which is fine because I don't want my dog in cargo anyways. There's way too many problems when they go in cargo, which I don't even know why they do that anyways. And I don't know if they do that much where they put them in cargo. Patty, the pig story's already over. I'm just joking. So anyways, and so I am glad. So moving on, I am glad that Aaron is on because I do want to talk about Aaron a little bit here. Aaron, I met on Facebook. Aaron I ran into his information when I was going through Facebook, and Aaron lost his beautiful dog, Angel, 64 days ago. I want to say I think it was 64 days now, right, Aaron? And I'll show a picture. This is Aaron and his dog, Angel. And he's online right now. And he lives in Canada. So he lost his beautiful girl 64 days ago. And he also, and I'm going to, I'll put his information after the show into the information there. But he has, and I should be getting hopefully I'll be getting right. Isn't that pretty? And the dog's so pretty as well. Aaron, how old was Angel when Angel passed? I didn't get a chance to see that in the information before I did this. Oh, 17 and a half. Wow. Wow. What a beautiful life. What a beautiful long life. Aaron did, and I can't wait. I should be getting my letter soon because he did send it out. But I ordered. So Aaron has done quite a few things since Angel has passed. He does these letters. It's called letter. Letters in the Quiet, and you get a couple different things. Now there's a couple different packages. He handwrites all these letters. You send them information. Now I ordered a letter. You can have, let me kind of not jumble this up. So there's a couple different packages. You can do a letter from your dog to you. You can do a letter from your dog to like your child. So I ordered a letter from my dog Harley to my son Brady, because you can do different ones. And so there'll be and correct me if I'm wrong here. So there'll be like two letters. There'll be like a letter, like for now, and then one for later, and then there'll be like a keychain and like a note and stuff. And like you'll see here, it's like such a really, and looks like it comes really, really pretty. I can't wait to get it. And when I get it, I'll have a whole thing and I'll read it. But I wanted to showcase it now because I really, really am excited about it. And like I said, I'll have the information in the link, and I'll have it on my website and all that too, because it's really, really cool. And the one thing also I like, Aaron's kind of like I was as well, is when you have a loss that's so impactful, and when you have a loss that's so impactful and it rocks your world, it changes your world. You were literally not the same person that you were. And you can take that and you can turn it into something beautiful. You can take that and you can help other people, and you can help heal other people through your your experience, your pain. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing when you can take that and you can channel it into something beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And that's very, there's a fly in here. that's very admirable. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do because when you're going through it, it's hard, but you're doing it for all the years of unconditional love that they gave you. I mean, that's Aaron had 17 and a half years of unconditional love, and so now what he does is he gives it back to people. And I'm sure with every letter that he writes, it's a way that he honors Angel. And just like every show that I do honors, all these guys. Every time I help somebody, it's to honor these guys. That's why I do this. This is, it started out with, it started out with, this loss rocked my world. But this loss, had I not had this loss, I wouldn't have met so many wonderful people. I wouldn't have been able to help so many people, been able to walk with so many people on their journeys through pet loss. There was a lot of beautiful moments and a lot of things that I cherish through those losses. And it's that's the best thing that we can do is when it's the best way you can give back. And there's so many, I always tell people too, like when you have a loss, the best way you can honor something that gives you unconditional love, 365 days, a year, every day. And I just joked about this the other day too. Like, you come home from a long day of work, right? And I came home the other day, and you know, these lunatics, they're the first ones at the door, and they're, jumping and, jumping like crazy, and they're so happy to see me. And, the moderator's in my kitchen, and she's just looking at me because she had come over, and and I said, I'm like, why don't you ever jump up and down and get excited to see me like this? And I mean, it just, but that's no matter what kind of day you're having, no matter how long you've been gone, they're always so happy to see you. And it, it just, it turns your whole day around, right? Oh yeah, no, please don't. Next time you see me, don't attack on me. Um, but seriously, right? I mean, it's just it's the best way to give back, and it's the best way to keep their memory alive. Um, and it doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to be anything big. When you have a loss, you can donate your time. You can go to the shelter. You can make a donation. I mean, you don't have to donate money. Go to the shelter, walk dogs, donate dog food. There's so many things you can do, right? Oh, please do it online. Oh, trust me. Yeah, that would be great. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so many great things that you can do to keep memories alive. And um, and I always tell people, the more that we talk about them, the more that we heal. And um, it's a great thing. It's just a great thing. And um, so anyways, but I so appreciate everybody for sticking with me today. And I am so sorry about the whole technical difficulties. And let me get my candle here. We always do the lighting of the candle at the end. um, so yes, exactly, yeah, taking pictures and videos. And um, let me light this up, light it up. Ooh. So we're throwing candles. Yeah, here I'm talking about fire, right? And I'm gonna set the place on fire. Anyway, so it's been a day. Um, anyway, so we always light a candle at the end, to honor the ones that have we've lost today, yesterday, years ago. Doesn't matter. We honor them all because they loved us unconditionally, and we just appreciate each and every one of them. And I appreciate each and everybody that has, again, came on tonight. If you are watching the replay, I'm happy that you're here. If you know anybody that wants to, come on, we're going to be live again on Friday. So this week it is going to be Friday, not Saturday. So hop back on Friday. I promise we won't have technical difficulties on Friday. It'll be the same time. And then again, we'll resume again on Tuesday. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. If you can, tell everybody about the channel. I love doing this. Love, love, love doing this. I hope at least you get something out of it, or at least you get to laugh at me. Please, past your bedtime. It is not past your bedtime. It's an hour earlier there. But but again, and again, I at least, like I said, at least you get to laugh at me, or whatever. I hope that, or if you make friends in the chat, everybody's so wonderful that pops on here. I appreciate everybody so very, very much. And just again, thank you so much. If you don't have a friend, you always have one now. And again, I am going to be making those stickers. So I will have on my channel is the email address. If you throw your email, or if you throw your address, or send me your address to the email address, I will get you one of those stickers out when I get them made, which hopefully should be by next week. So send me your email or send me your address and I will ship you out a sticker for your window to save your pets in case of a fire. So yes, just send me your oh well, yes, you'll get a sticker too. But anyway, so have a good night. Thank you all very much. You are all wonderful. Take care. Have a very, very good night. And again, thank you for sticking with me tonight. This will not happen next week. Do I have do you do have to send your shut up. You get out of here. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye bye. Oh, yeah, well, it'll be before Easter, so good. We'll do a special Easter show on Friday. Yay. Bye. Have a good night. Bye. Bye.